Welcome back to Hurray. Thank you for watching our previous videos and we were glad to receive your queries. Today we are going to address the writing subtest in the OET exam. As usual, you can like and share this video if you find it beneficial and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. You can also click on the bell icon to get notifications of our upcoming uploads. Please feel free to comment in the comment box below. We will address them in our future videos. In the OET writing subtest, there is only one task for writing, and that is the letter writing, unlike the IELTS and the PTE exam. The time limit for the letter writing is 45 minutes and the word limit is 180 to 200 words. The candidate has to read the case notes of the patient and write the letter. The total marks is 500 and the grades are awarded from A to E, A being the highest and E being the lowest. The topics for the letter writing are specific to the profession. That means there are 12 professionals who are eligible for the OET exam and each professional will get the topic pertaining to his or her specific profession. Now let's look at the criteria and scoring for the letter writing. There are 6 categories which a person will be assessed upon. The first is the purpose. 3 marks are allotted for the purpose of the letter. The candidate has to write the purpose of why he or she is writing the letter along with the chief symptoms or the diagnosis of the patient. Then there is clarity and conciseness, which carries 7 marks. Here a person should convey their ideas and present their thoughts with clarity and to the point. Again, there are 7 marks allocated for organization and layout, which talks about the structure of the letter. There is also 7 marks given for the content. That means the candidate should extract relevant and necessary information and write only those details in his or her letter. There is another 7 marks for genre and style. This means the tone of the letter has to be totally official and medical jargon has to be used for medical professionals, and for the layman, medical jargon should be avoided. And the last 7 marks is for language. Now this is a language exam and this 7 marks is for grammar, spelling, vocabulary, capitalization and punctuation. So the total marks is 38. Whatever the candidate scores on 38 will be divided and multiplied into 500, thereby getting a grade of A to E. In your letter writing, there will be 4 types of letters. 1 is the referral letter, 2 transfer letter, 3 discharge letter and information letter. A referral letter is written when the patient is sent to another healthcare facility for a different kind of investigation or treatment. A transfer letter is written when the patient is sent to another healthcare facility or department to continue his or her treatment. A discharge letter is written when the patient is leaving your healthcare facility or clinic and will be going home. And an information letter is written when certain information has to be conveyed to another organization about your patient. When you begin writing your letter, you need to ask a few basic questions. One is, who is this person I'm writing to? Second, what is the condition of the patient? 3, who is the patient? And 4, what type of letter it is. Now, when you start reading, for the first 5 minutes and the 45 minutes, you have to just read through the case notes of the patient. In the exam, you will not be allowed to touch your pencil or mark anything on your letter. You have to just read through the case notes and understand what the patient has gone through. After the first 5 minutes, you next have to plan your letter for the next 5 minutes. You have to see what sort of letter it is, decide who you're writing the letter to, and start with who you are in relation to the patient. After you understanding this, you have to build up a strategy called the power writing strategy. This means for the first 5 minutes after reading the case notes, you've got to plan. You've got to extract the key points from the case notes and decide what you're going to write. The next step is organize these jumbled thoughts, put them into some order, then you start writing. After you're writing for 30 minutes, you have to take the last 5 minutes to edit and review your letter. So POWER stands for plan, organize, write, edit and review. While you review your letter, you need to look for spelling errors, punctuation errors, contextual errors, grammatical errors, capitalization errors, and any other data that you might want to check. You should not write in note format because in the case notes you will get clipped sentences. You have to write complete sentences using all your grammatical structures. For example, you need to use articles, prepositions, and pronouns. You need to spend time also to think whether you're writing to a medical professional or a layman. If you're writing to a medical professional, you can use as many medical terminologies as you like. But while you're writing to a layman, maybe a social worker or an organization where you need some home nurses, there you need to be very careful to use only English words and explain the medical jargon if you have to. You also should think about your response, about what the person has gone through, and take time to use only sentence format and paragraph format. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the structure of the letter. There is a certain format that you would need to write the letter in, but sometimes variations are also acceptable. The general format is that you need to write the address on the top left corner, followed by the date after a line space. After that, you can write the salutation. When you write the salutation, you write dear, doctor, and the last name of the person. Or if you're writing to a nurse, you write the surname of the person, after which you need to use a comma. After a line space, you need to write reference. Reference can be written as RE. R can be in cap letter with a lowercase e, or R and E can be in uppercase. Then you need to use a colon and a space and write the complete name of the patient with a comma and space, and then you can write the age of the patient, or DOB, which stands for date of birth, with the date of birth of the patient. After this, you leave a line space and start your first paragraph. In the first paragraph, you need to write the purpose of the letter. The purpose would include why are you writing to that other person, what do you want that professional to do for your patient, and also include the diagnosis of your patient. If the diagnosis is not yet decided, you can write 1 or 2 chief complaints of the patient. After this is done, you leave a line space and go to the second paragraph where you need to write the past medical history followed by the social background of the patient. The next paragraph would include the current condition of the patient, the medication prescribed, the treatment given, the status of the patient, whether this patient has improved or not improved, or whether the patient is stable, what are the different investigations conducted on the patient, followed by the results of those investigations. All these details would be in the current condition of the patient. After this paragraph is over, we need to come to the next paragraph, which talks about the discharge plan or the referral plan or the transfer details of whichever is relevant depending on what kind of letter you are writing. Here you can say what prescription you're sending the patient with, or what diet plan you have for the patient, or the exercise regime, and any other further treatment or investigations which are required. Sometimes maybe a surgery or a small operation may be required. All this would be coming in the last body paragraph. After these paragraphs, there will be the final paragraph, which is called the conclusion. In the conclusion, you just need to write one sentence. For example, you can say, thank you for assessing and giving ongoing treatment for this patient. Please feel free to contact me for any further queries. This can be written in several ways. So the conclusion paragraph should just be that you are receptive to giving more details about your patient if that professional requires any of them. Now, after this conclusion line, you leave a line space again and come to the signature line. In the signature line, you need to write yours sincerely, Y with a capital letter, and yours without an apostrophe, and sincerely should begin with a small letter S ending with a comma after the letter Y. Sometimes you can write yours faithfully if you don't know the person's name of whom you're writing to, or if you're just writing to the person saying dear dentist or dear staff nurse, you can end the letter with yours faithfully. After the signature line, you need to leave a line space and write the designation which is given in the case notes. If a name is also mentioned, you need to write the name after the designation. The designation is mandatory and the name is optional. Two rules that you have to remember while writing your letter are that you need to maintain left alignment from the address until the end, and the other rule is that you need to leave a line space between paragraphs. You also can note that in the address at the top left corner, it is not mandatory to write commas or a full stop. But if you use a comma at the end of one line, you need to be consistent and have commas after the end of all the lines. Otherwise, you can just skip the punctuation. There are two lines where commas are mandatory. One is after the salutation and the other one is after the signature line. In between your letter, of course, you need to use commas wherever applicable. For example, when you separate ideas or when you're writing a list of medication or a list of any item, you need to use full stops at the end of every sentence and begin every sentence with a capital letter. The other place where you need to use capital letters are when you use medication names. When they are brand names, you need to capitalize the first letter, and when they are generic names, you need to use lowercase. In addition to this, you also need to use a capital letter when you use proper nouns. For example, names of people, it could be the patient's name, the doctor's names, and also places, and hospital names, clinic names, organization names, etc. The other thing you need to remember is to use capital letters when you write the month of a year and a day of the week. This is the basic structure of the letter. Finally, let's look at some common mistakes that a person makes while writing. You have to look at pronouns. For example, instead of writing fracture on left lower thigh, you need to write fracture on his or her left lower thigh. The other thing that you need to be very careful while writing the letter is to use the correct tenses. For example, if the patient has already undergone a procedure, you need to write, he had a hip replacement when he was 30 years old. And when you are requesting a call of action for post-discharge, then you need to use future tense. For example, he will need regular blood pressure checks. Before submitting your letter, make sure you do review and edit. How do you do this? You need to read your letter line by line, look for different kinds of errors, for example, spelling mistake, grammatical errors, punctuation errors, capitalization errors, and most of all, contextual errors. Make it as perfect as you can and then submit your work. All the best for your preparation in the writing subtest. Do let us know if you have any specific queries. We'll answer them for you. Remember to like and share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future videos. Thank you.